Hello all. In this video, we will be discussing creating APA references and citations. When presenting an idea in writing, we want our audience to trust both our position and our evidence, which is why we locate expert opinions and facts that support our ideas. However, we need to demonstrate to our audience that our information is from a reliable source, which is why we use in-text citations and references. Citations and references allow us to demonstrate the credibility of our ideas, avoid charges of plagiarism, and provide easy access to our research. In order to create accurate references and citations, we need to capture the complete publication information for each of our sources. First, remember that references must include the complete publication information, while citations include just enough information for our audience to find the complete information on our reference list. Since the citation needs to lead the reader to the reference, begin with the reference. References provide the audience with all the information necessary for locating the original source of the information used in your writing. Regardless of the source type, all references answer the same questions: who, when, what, how, and where. So, when building your references, answer each of these questions. First, who wrote the text? Is it a single named author or perhaps multiple named authors? In some cases, your author could be an organization, a group, an institution, or a corporation. Next, when was the text published? Is it a news or magazine article or streaming media? Then you'll probably find the complete date information with the year, month, and day. Some magazines and journal articles often only include the year and the month. Books, albums, and films usually only list the year of the publication. Next, our audience will need to know the name of the text. So here, we're looking for the name of the specific text that we read. That would be the title of the article or the book, the blog post, the web page, the video, a song, a podcast episode, an image, or report. Our audience also needs to know how this text was distributed. This helps them to know the source type as well. So consider who released this text. Was it a well-known book publisher like Random House or Pearson? Was it a publication like a news source or a magazine, a blog, a website, a specific platform like YouTube or TikTok, an album, or a podcast? And finally, our reader is going to need to know where this text is found. Is it available in the library collections? Is it only available in hard copy? Or is it found online? Now, while you're gathering this information, it's a good idea to collect your answers in a research tracker. Here's the source tracker that I use when I'm researching. All of those key questions are listed in the order of the information, how it has to appear in your complete reference as well. Further, I designed this tracker so that you can see how your reference and the information for your reference relates directly to the citation, making it easier to create the citation for your in-text quotations or paraphrases, facts, or numbers as well. So let's use this tracker to collect all of the information for a specific source and then create that reference and a standard citation from the information. So let's imagine that we are writing an essay and, lately I've become interested in the very emotional news headlines that I see all the time. And it got me wondering if, the world really is scarier now than it was in the past, or if this is, something that is just happening because I'm online all the time due to the pandemic, I'm at home, so I'm noticing this more. So I did a quick Google search. And I found this particular source. I'm just going to change my screen here for you. So as I was looking through with my keywords, this article appeared called "It's Not in Your Head, the World Really Is Getting Worse." Now we can see here that we've got a complete article. It looks like it has a lot of information. And I did find a point here that actually seems to start answering my question. So I'd like to use this quotation in my essay. So I have to make sure that I collect all of the complete publication information. When you find an article online, usually the very first thing you'll get at the top of the page is the title of the text. Below it, there could be a subtitle. And then under that, we usually have the name of the author and the publication information. Keep in mind that this information could appear, particularly the name of the author and the publication date, at the end of the article or in one of the margins as well. Luckily, as I said, for this article, we have all the information in the very first page. So let's start gathering the information we need for our reference. First, we need the author's name. So I can see here that this was written by Andrew Porter. So I am going to copy that with Control-C, and I am going to paste it into my reference tracker. So who wrote this text? I know that it's Andrew Potter, and I just want to make sure that I don't have any of that background information. So now I have the author's name. So next I have to find out when this text was published. So for that, I'm going to return back to the article, and I can see that this was published on August 25th, 2021. So I'm going to copy that information and go back to my tracker and paste that here. So I have that in the correct order. So now I have the correct publication date as well. Next, I'm going to need to capture the title of the article. So we've already located that. It is the main title here. We're not including the subtitles. We just need the main title of the article. That's enough information for our audience to be able to find the complete source. So now I'm going to paste the title here, and I need to get how this text was distributed. So for that, it's a good idea to know the kind of source that we're looking at. Now, I quickly looked up my source online. The Walrus is a Canadian magazine. So I'm going to need to include the name of the magazine. That's how this source was distributed, as the Walrus. So for that, I'm going to need to return back to my reference tracker and enter that information here. So now we know the name of the magazine and where was this text found. And for this, since it's an online article that I found with a Google search, I'm just going to collect the URL so I can include that for my audience as well. So now I have all of the information that I need for my reference. So I can take this information and plug it into my reference formula, and now I'll know that I have a complete reference. So let's write our reference for this specific source. So first, I'm going to need the author's last name and just their first name initial. So Andrew Potter is the name of my author. So I'm going to be writing Potter A is my author. Next, in brackets, I need the complete date information. Because this is a magazine article published online, I have the year, the month, and day. So I need to not just enter this, but make sure I enter it in the correct order. Of course, the first and most important piece of information is the year, 2021. Remember, for APA, we're always looking for the most current sources. So this shows that this information is up to date. Next, I would include the month, August, and the day, the 25th. Close my brackets and put a period because that's the end of the date information. The next thing I need is the title of the article. Now remember, for APA, we are not going to use title case, we use sentence case, put a period at the end because that's the end of the information. And in Word, it's really easy to change something from title case to sentence case. We're simply going to highlight it here, go up to our toolbar and select sentence case. Oh, didn't work. Okay, so that's not working. And so I'm just gonna have to manually change that for you. So just turn these into sentence case. Just give me a moment while I do this. And once we're done, then we can enter the name of the publication. Oops, just got my mouse stuck there. So we have our I, G, and W. Okay, so if I look at my reference formula, I have my last name, first initial, my complete date information. I have the title of my text with a period afterwards. Now I need my magazine name. We have The Walrus. This stays in title case with a period afterwards because that is the end of the title of the publication. And because this is the larger thing that's published, if this was in hard copy, we would be able to hold on to the complete magazine. We'd have to tear out the page if we wanted to hold on to that. We need to make sure that that's in italics. This also lets our reader know that this is a magazine because we've prioritized this piece of information. And finally, I need to include the location of this text, which is found online at the following website. So now I have my complete reference. My next step is to make sure I have the correct information for my citation. And I can gather that using this tracker. That's why this tracker is super handy, by just capturing the information. Here for the citation, I need limited information, just enough so that my reader can find the complete publication information on my reference list at the end of my paper. Now remember, our reference list is in alphabetical order by what appears first in the author position. So in this case, my reference is just the author's last name, and I just need the year, because my audience in the body of my text isn't going to care about the month or the day. They're just going to want to know how current the information is. So only the year is required. So now I have captured the author's last name. I have my year as well. And this is an online article. The quotation that I found, because we don't have page numbers, I have to count down my paragraphs. And the quotation that I'm planning on using in my text, I discovered is in paragraph 13. So that is my complete information. And I can now create a complete citation because I have all the information. So for a standard citation, the information that I would need is right there in the citation line. And I would include the author's last name, Potter, comma. Next thing I need is just the year, 2021. Oops, comma, not period, because we're not at the end yet. And then I need my para number. So para is the short form for paragraph, and that is 13. I can close my brackets, and now I have a complete citation. Note now, if in the body of my text, my audience were to read the quotation that I included from the article, it's not in your head, the world is really getting worse, all they would see is Potter 2021 paragraph 13. And they're like, I would like to read this quotation in context, they can jump down to our reference list looking for Potter 2021, and note here, right at the beginning of the reference, we can see that information. They can click on the link, and then they can scroll down to paragraph number 13, and they can actually read that quotation in context. Now, our next step is integrating those quotations effectively into our writing, but I'm going to save that for another video. When conducting research for this class or others, make use of a resource tracker and the APA at Conestoga website. Remember that APA at Conestoga not only includes reference formulas for different types of sources, but also examples and help with non-standard sources. If you have any questions about citations, references, or plagiarism, send me an email with your specific concern. Remember to include the name of the concept and the purpose of your email in the subject line. In the video description below, you'll find the key concepts discussed in this video and a link to APA at Conestoga. The tracker can be found on eConestoga. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in class.